Joining me is the National Senator Ross Cadell and the Labor member for Paterson, Meryl Swanson. Thank you both for joining me. It sounds like a quieter environment than my interview with your esteemed leader there, Ross Cadell. Some John Mellencamp in the background there. They should have put on paper and fire given the tobacco questions. I'll give you one of those in a minute. It looks like Jim Chalmers is going to pull a rabbit surplus out of the hat, Ross Cadell. What do you make of that?
Well, he's done well. You've got to give, if he can do it and it's real, that's great. If he doesn't, it's made up, not so great. But how's he doing it? What's we cutting? You know, what aren't we spending? Are we getting no increases in the infrastructure budget to replace things in like Merrill's electorate? We've got to make sure that the Raymond Terrace extension is going through. We saw $200 million disappear from the Port of Newcastle last budget. So let's just see how it's done. But if he can do it, if it's responsible and it's real, got to give him credit.
All right, well, hard not to follow that up. Meryl Swanson, are you expecting any roads cuts in your electorate?
No, I'm not. In fact, and I want to categorically let you know, Andrew, that the Raymond Terrace extension, the M1 bypass of Raymond Terrace, is going ahead. The contracts have been signed, the money's there, and there's absolutely no doubt about that. And I'm not sure that Jimmy Chalmers was able to pick up a crate of Back in Black mugs cheap on eBay, so I don't know about that surplus. But if you know something I know, you better tell me.
All right, 22-23, I'm telling you, take it to the bank, get your mugs out. Anyway, Meryl, I want to ask about this because it is 22-23. I know the budget's often about the years to come and they're all still in deficit. It does seem ironic to me that at the same time the government's benefiting from the windfall in commodities proceeds, it's looking to reduce commodities, I guess, as part of a renewables target. In your area in particular, do you see the irony about some of this?
Look, I get what you're saying, Andrew, but while ever there is coal demand across the world in places like Japan, in Taiwan, in South Korea, we're going to export high-quality Hunter Valley coal. That's just the reality of it. Here in Australia, we know that renewables is the cheapest. This week alone, we've seen more and more people taking it up. They're putting solar on their roofs. We know that people just want it. So we've got to be able to walk and chew gum and balance the two things. I understand firmly what you're saying, but people who work in my commodities industry here across the Hunter and in Paterson, they are also the same people who are trying to, absolutely bring down their power prices. They're putting solar on the roofs, they're buying batteries, they're doing what they can. So they know all about it as well. So yeah, look, there is a contradiction, I get that, but the contradiction is really that we are able to do this. We can do it. That's the simple fact.
Ross, I've got to ask about your old mate Ben Franklin, who wants to be president of the upper house. You are in the New South Wales Nationals. They're looking to take him or take Chris Minns to ICAC over this. What do you make of all this?
Love to be in the party room when this decision, if it hasn't already gone down, Let me be clear, Ben is a dear friend. I would not be where I am without support of Ben and people like him. But it's messy. It's messy from the inside, it's messy from the outside. But it's an us story. It's a story in the political conundrum of political parties. I hope Ben makes the right decision for himself and the party. I think if he hasn't got the support, he should have a think about it. But Ben and I will be friends no matter what he chooses here. He's a good person. He helped save the party in 2006 from merging. But I just hope that whatever comes out, it's agreed and there is a clear way forward.
All right, Ross, I wanted to ask you about vapes as well. You've had a bit to say about this. You don't like the government's policy?
No, I don't. It's not this government's policy either. This is beyond politics. This is about safety for children and people. And it was the previous government's policy, and I think the previous government's policy before that. You can't say we're making something illegal, so therefore it will stop. It's already illegal. We have 1,600 people with prescriptions getting vapes, and we have 1.6 million, 1.5 million people using them. So I think the maths doesn't add up into that. It might be the way we get our budget surplus. But what we have to do is realise what we are doing, making it illegal, has failed. And we have kids in my school, they're raising money for vape detectors in bathrooms so kids can go to the bathrooms without a whole lot of vapors there. They aren't getting prescriptions. The 4-year-old that gets sick by getting their hands on a vape isn't getting a prescription from a doctor. They are brought in by illegal crime. They've done so under the previous government. They are doing under this government. And our policy combined just gives an income stream to organised crime, to gangs, to bad people, bringing in things we don't know what's in them, we don't know what chemicals are in them, we don't know anything, and they're not hard to get. I've never smoked, never vaped, went to Canberra before estimates and bought one in 15 minutes for $30. They're rampant. Increased enforcement is great, love that part of it, but it's time to say that we know they're always going to be here, we're never going to stop them. Let's regulate, really limit what products can go into them, limit how they're sold, so we can spend some money on enforcement of the wrong stuff.